Now, WYFF News 4 presents For the Record.
Welcome to For the Record. I'm Nigel Robertson. WYFF News 4 is committed to bringing you important issues that are affecting our community, and that is what we plan to do each Sunday morning. Today, we're talking about lending practices some consider predatory, and a statewide group that's formed to fight back against these practices. Joining me first this morning is Carrie Smith, South Carolina Regional President of Self-Help Credit Union. Thank you for being here. Define to me what predatory lending is.
Well, Nigel, those are practices that exploit the borrowers in ways that benefit the lender but is detrimental to the borrower. And it can be things like, for one, is making sure that the person that comes in to get the loan has the ability to repay the loan. Mm-hmm. Or it's setting up, interest rates can be very high, triple digit. There's also practices where lenders will call up folks after they've had their loan for 3 months and offer to rewrite that loan after 3 months. And that particular practice is really egregious for the borrower because many of the lenders, and we're talking payday, auto title, and installment lenders. And what makes that so egregious for the borrower is that all of the interest is added up front of the loan. So in 3 months, they have not paid one dime on the principal of that loan. And sometimes it can be more than half the term of the loan before any principal gets paid.
Yeah, and you mentioned that. We're talking about payday, auto title, and installment loans. And South Carolina's Fair Lending Alliance is advocating for legislation against these practices, right?
Yes, Nigel. A group of over 30 statewide organizations and faith community and individuals have come together actually back in 2019 to start addressing some of these predatory lending practices in our state, especially since there are no caps as to the amount that a lender can charge. In fact, the highest interest rate that was filed in South Carolina last year was 850%.
Wow.
And on average, it's well over 200%. And
is that 850% in interest?
Yes, annual percentage rate. Yes, sir.
Wow.
It is. In fact, last week, I was working with a lady that got a $5,000 loan, just to give you the scope of this, a $5,000 loan for a title loan, and her interest rate was 749%. And that's the highest contract I've held in my hand.
And these are people who are trying, they need the money.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And I would imagine everything sounds so perfect when it's pitched to them.
Right, and what we know is when people are in financial crisis, there was a book done, it's called Scarcity, and it talks about the brain science. And when people are in financial distress, they literally don't have the bandwidth to critically analyze these kinds of loans. Yeah. And so folks are just focused on trying their best to solve an issue and don't look further than what may really appear in their mailbox. And these lenders do things like a live check where it's a check, all they do is endorse it and deposit it with their financial institution, and it becomes a loan. And they don't really realize the impact until it's too late. Because once it's deposited, that loan they're responsible for that loan.
So are these only places where people go to find the loan, or is some of this come in the mail to people's homes?
It's mail, they text, there's calls. So it is very targeted. And what we know in the state is that these lenders make loans and target our minority populations and our low wealth folks. In fact, we looked at where these lenders are located, and the majority of them are in counties and cities with poverty rates of over 13 to 33%. And so if you drive around in these areas of our state, you will see 4 and 5 of them, you know, beside the liquor store and the check cashing places.
Yeah, so these problems are pretty widespread then.
Yes, the Edgar Dyer Institute at Coastal Carolina just released a report in January that shows that over 400,000 South Carolinians are in serious financial debt in installment loans that are 60 days or more past due. That's 10% of our adult population.
In many ways, there's no way out of that.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And what we've seen at doing this work is individuals have come forward and they started with maybe a $700 or $1,000 loan 10 years ago.
10
years ago. And they're still, because it just keeps getting rewritten. And when they rewrite those loans, they add on all kinds of insurances. And like I said, they've never touched the principal of that initial loan.
Wow. That's terrifying.
Well, in what we've seen, and we've tried, you know, as folks come to us, you know, we do our best to find ways to help get them out of it. But a lot of times they're just so far in that it ruins their credit. They get their accounts closed because a lot of times these lenders require a bank account to make the payments. And then when they don't have the money to pay it, they're charged NSF fees, and then their banks or credit unions sometimes close their accounts because it's in the negative. And then they can't get accounts at other traditional financial institutions.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here and talking about this, and we're just getting started. Our conversation on lending practices only beginning. Next, we'll speak with a community liaison working to protect people often faced with major debt.